Hey everyone, Summer here with Astaria Sen. This is my kitty. I'm actually going to be showing you a little bit of how I keep my spiritual materials, my spiritual cabinet. I'm going to show you my spiritual cabinets. But this would be my familiar. This is Sasha, Demon Lord Princess, and her Tower of Power, which is in between my altars, which you can tell. Okay, so here's what I have. Now, forgive the altar because it's minimalist right now because I had to redo everything. And so I only have exactly what I'm going to be using on my altar until December 1st, which is then I will start switching to the Yule season. Actually, the Yule season starts before December 1st, but that's when I'm actually going to switch it. So here's what my altar currently looks like. It's never this bare, which if you guys have seen any of my altars, you know that it is never this bare. So here's what I have. Like, I rearranged my cabinets. So this section right here, because it's like it's nine cubes, I guess. And it doesn't go all the way up. It goes right underneath my windowsill. Cool, huh? So in this one right here, I keep like spare lighters and my bells and just spare stuff, mainly things that I would just use on my altar or for charging. Except for this. I have to refill this and put it out in the sun, but I'm waiting for a specific day to do that. And then I have a blank one right here because I don't know what I'm putting in it yet. I'll work on that. This right here has all of my, like, I guess you would call it my holiday stuff. Like, it has very specific stuff in it that is just for my altar and for specific things that have to do with my altar, like Yule or Mabon or Samhain. And then if you come over here, this is all my jars. I have a ton. This entire box right here is actually filled with a bunch of these mini jars, like a ton of them, because I just keep buying them and I have to use them. So I have a ton. Like this is the whole section is just empty jars that I use for random things and different things. These are my candles. You can see all the way back. This is black row. I've even got some black in the bag, purple, white, blue and green, and then my spare ones are hanging out too. So these are just my big candles and my spare stuff. And then one above it are candles I consistently use just regularly for things like ritual or spiritual stuff, just based off my needs and what I'm using it for. And then if we come over here, this is where most of my general crystals are. These are the ones that need to be cleansed because I used them on the altar and used them for an entire month, and so they have a lot of different energy in them. Then the ones back here are just ones that are hanging out, so I can use them however I'd like. I have jars full of crystals here that even go all the way back. So these are all crystal related, every single one of them. And then down here is my herbs, most part of them, like the ones that I am consistently like using for different things, like my sage, my offerings. I have my bread offerings and my cookie offerings, and this is orange peels. These are smudges that other people have made for me, and then like rose petals, and then sage I picked by hand from my property. So really it's just kind of an assortment of my herbs. And then down here I have Yule stuff because I'm getting ready to do Yule stuff. So this cupboard is kind of like filled with that. And it's my Yule log too, which doesn't really fit anywhere. So I had it here for the whole last year. And then if we move over here, I have this like bookshelf area that I use too. So this shelf, like up here, is just like books and printing stuff, like all my journals, right? I told you guys I had a lot of journals. And then these are my like spiritual journals or diaries that I'm using. And this is just like extra altar stuff that I do. This is the lavender I picked out of my garden and wrapped one of them. It came loose though, so I've got to mess with that a little bit, but I don't want my cat to mess with it. And then up here is stuff that I used recently that I have to like cleanse or do something else with. That's this too, is like leftover pieces of sage and stuff like that that I could still burn. That's in this one right here. It didn't turn to ash. And then I have my elk or my deer horn back here, and then my really cool little wood piece that I both found on my property, and then feathers that I've gotten from birds and other people. Then if you move down here, you have more crystals. These are my little mini bottles of crystals. So these things are tiny, guys. These are my tiny bottles. But I have them in all different kinds. These are basically the ones I'm using the most currently. And then these are like my extras. Then I have my wishes. And then I have spells that I've done or others have given me. And then more of my bigger crystals that I can use on my altar. And then I have my essential oils. Cool, yeah. And then when we move down here, I have a rain stick right here. But I have sage that I use for saging weekly because I do a weekly cleanse. And then this is my other herb cabinet. Now this is what I would use for small spells like Deuce's spell or like a blessing or something like that. And I have all different herbs, most of them labeled. I don't even have all of them in there. This is roses, dandelions, oranges. That one's peppermint. But this is like a really cool little like thing. And I don't have anything in the drawers really. Oh, I guess I have extra candles in this drawer. But then I have my other books that I had on my altar, like little, they're not books, they're just open boxes that look like books. And then I have another one. There isn't anything in this one yet. I want to repaint it and do something else with it, but these are my long candles that don't really fit in my candle area well. And then like seashells and candle holders, my distilled water, stuff I'm working on, you know, those kinds of things. So that's really what I have. So this is what I use. This is how I use my area. And yeah, so that's it. That's what I've got for you guys. I'd be curious to see your guys's spiritual or witchy cabinets and what you guys do with all of your stuff. That would be kind of cool. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a very great day.